Activation and postural alignment exercises are implemented to help the body find its inherent movement patterns that are often compensated for in daily life. I encourage you to turn the sound off, watch the movements, and attempt them on your own first. Use care when doing this. Once you've tried them on your own, turn the sound back on and compare the descriptive instructions to what you felt the first time through. These exercises were carefully chosen because the nature of the movements requires the body to come to awareness without necessarily overthinking. We'll start with a stick deadlift. You'll need a dowel or a broom handle for this exercise. Begin standing tall with a stick placed vertically on your back. Your upper hand is placed on the stick, palm facing in, and your lower hand placed on the stick in the small of your back, palm facing out. You must keep your head, thoracic spine, which is the area between your shoulder blades, and the area of your tailbone in contact with the stick at all times through the entire range of motion. Begin by pressing your hips back, keeping a slight bend to the knees. Your anterior core stays tight. Your weight is now on your heels while your big toes stay in contact with the ground. Upon the ascent, press your heels into the ground without locking your knees as your hips generate the force to bring you back to the starting position. Keep your body aligned and in contact with the stick. This is one of the most important exercises you'll ever perform and the cornerstone of most movement patterns of the body. Nail this and you're one step closer to healthier knees. Before we begin the squat, let me remind you that a squat performed incorrectly may very well result in knee pain. With that being said, I also want to be clear that most, if not all, of my knee pain clients are able to perform a squat pain-free once ideal squat form is achieved. I chose the wall squat for this very reason. This version of the squat demands great form and is a great teaching tool. Stand facing a blank wall with your feet no more than 2 inches off the wall. Keep your toes facing forward, your head up, hands outside the hips and legs. Attempt to keep your shoulders relaxed throughout the movement. Tighten your anterior core and keep your big toes in contact with the ground at all times. Your weight will transition into your heels as you pull yourself into the descent with your hip flexors. Your knees will remain just slightly wider than your feet at all times. Once you reach the bottom of the squat, pause a moment before you drive your feet through the floor, using your glutes and hips to bring you back to the starting position. Resist your knees caving inward as you ascend. This is the modified version of the wall squat. Beginners may choose to use a bench or a stool if balance is challenged. Remember, the bench is only a training tool. Do not sit on the bench, just touch it before returning to the starting position. This is the two-leg hip extension or lift. Lie on your back with your palms up, knees bent, and feet on the floor close to your glutes. Tighten your anterior core and keep your tibia or lower leg bone vertical at all times so your knees don't cave inward. Drive through your heels to reach the top position. Hold the top position for 10 to 15 seconds. During this time, attempt to achieve the contraction in both glutes instead of the hamstrings. Lower under complete control and repeat. This is the single leg version of the hip lift or extension. The starting position is the same as the two-leg hip lift, only you'll hold one knee close to your torso without rounding your low back. Place the opposite foot on the ground close to midline with your heel close to your glutes. Tighten your anterior core and push the heel of the working leg into the ground, pressing your hips to the top position. Feel the contraction in the working glute. Keep your pelvis steady and even and attempt to reach the same height as you achieved with the two-leg hip extension. Lower and repeat for the desired repetitions before switching legs. The plank is designed to help you achieve more core strength and stability. This is crucial to proper movement function. Begin with your forearms on the ground, elbows directly under your shoulders, and your chin tucked. Hold the anterior core tight as you brace your body up. Once you achieve ideal plank position, squeeze your glutes and imagine you have the stick on your back, maintaining proper body alignment as you did in the deadlift exercise. You should not feel more pressure in your lower back than in your anterior core. Hold for 10 seconds, lower under control, and rest for 5 seconds before repeating. As you become more fit with more body awareness, you may extend the time you hold the plank in the top position. With both the plank and the side plank, you'll want to pull your shoulders down, away from your ears, and keep them there. Start by lying on your side with your forearm on the ground, elbow directly under your shoulder. You'll have just a slight bend in your knees, feet are stacked. Upon ascent, press your forearm into the ground, pulling your shoulder away from your ear, anterior core is tight. You are now at the top position with your upper shoulder rolled back. Glutes are tight and helping to stabilize as part of the core musculature. At this point, you should look like you are standing with great posture, only now you're doing it horizontally. Be sure to keep pressure on the edge of the bottom foot instead of resting your body's weight on the ankle. This exercise is absolutely spectacular for building anterior and posterior core strength. Start with your hands on the floor just below your shoulders. Keep your chin in front of your fingertips throughout the movement. Breathe in a deep breath down into your belly and hold it there with tight anterior core. At the top, you'll begin extending one leg from the hip and holding it there by keeping the glute squeezed. The pelvis cannot drop forward or tip, becoming unleveled. Still keeping anterior core tight, lower yourself under complete control, keeping abs tight and shoulders away from your ears. This first version is with a straight extended leg. Work hard to keep the extended leg straight and fully extended at the hip. The second version requires you to bend the extended leg to 90 degrees after full straight leg extension. Perform sets for each exercise on each leg. If strength was an issue with the previous exercise, use this modified version until you build the strength required to proficiently complete the original. Use a bench or a table to achieve a 45-degree angle in the body. With your anterior core tight and glutes braced, lower yourself in a controlled fashion. As you get stronger, reduce the angle of the body and keep challenging yourself. Hey, you made it, congratulations. You know, quite frankly, some of that stuff can be pretty rough at times. So let's break down what just happened. Essentially, you had the opportunity to experience your body through foam rolling, stretching, and activation. This can be quite enlightening, especially if you found some tender spots, tight areas, and movement issues. Hey look, we're all subject to potential aches and pains and movement pattern deficiencies because of the sedentary lifestyle we lead in comparison to the movement patterns and frequency of movement the body was designed for. Our society doesn't discern between exercise and movement patterns, and for this reason, how are you supposed to know about this stuff? But that doesn't mean that what you're learning is irrelevant. As a matter of fact, once you've improved your movement patterns, exercise in general will be integrated into the body much more fluidly and effectively. What does that mean? Less potential for pain and injury, and more results. Sure, you can go right out and start an exercise program without investing yourself in correcting what potentially caused your pain to begin with. And maybe you'll get by for a while. But eventually, something's going to break down or possibly get injured, which will lead you right back to the starting blocks. Why not do it right the first time? Hey, we're just getting started. Addressing trigger points, tight muscles, and setting the foundation for better movement is just laying the groundwork. We still have to address strength with some pretty cool workouts that will benefit weight loss, cardiovascular health, and that's all going to get you much further down the road with your health and fitness goals. You're going to want to get your hands on my DVDs now in production, which include inherent strength training, core training, easy recipes to maximize your health through nutrition, and no equipment required workouts for the travel. In the meantime, practice your foam rolling. Don't get distracted. Stay with it. Stretch, muscle activation, and let me know how it's working for you by jumping on the losetheneknepain.com site and posting your comments. I really want to know how you're doing. Thanks for joining me today. Talk to you on losetheneknepain.com. I just wanted you to know that I sincerely appreciate the opportunity to guide you on your journey toward better health and body awareness. It's my intent that you avoid performing this in future programs in a mechanistic fashion. Instead, feel your way through them. It is my philosophy that whether pain is present or not, giving the body a chance to reestablish inherent movement will stimulate greater overall results. Congratulations for taking time to rediscover you.